Today I want to talk about a topic that most of us deal with, and we don't know exactly what the proper routine for dealing with the topic at hand. And it's stress. I think all of us kind of deal with stress on a different level. And when you don't know really how to handle it, it makes you do irrational things. It makes you kind of have like coping mechanisms that are unhealthy for you. It makes you try to find comfort in places where you shouldn't. And I think that especially in our community, being a black a male, dealing with stress and dealing with anxiety and dealing with pressure, it's just something that's just kind of swept under the rug. And I know for young women in our community, it's something that is just not really discussed. And when things happen, you're just told to kind of get used to it or figure it out, or things will get better. It's happening for a reason, but we never learn how to deal with stress to the level that we're supposed to, where it's healthy for us. And I think that just telling you guys my experiences dealing with stress, I haven't really done a good job in my life. I compartmentalize. And, sometimes it's a good thing, but other times, most times it's a bad thing. I don't like dealing with the problems as they stand right there immediately. I like to just put it into like this compartment and it stays there. And it's unhealthy, completely unhealthy. And I know some of you guys may deal with that too, where when you have a problem, it's so big you just can't deal with it right then. So you just put it away, and you put it away hoping that it's going to be gone, and it never is. That problem still sits there. And when it rears and it comes back up, it feels like every single compartment that you ever put a stress situation in just comes all out at one time, and it stresses you. It stresses you out. And if you're somebody else to where you have this coping mechanism when you deal with stress, and you cope, where you drink or you smoke or you find yourself mixing in crowds, and you find yourself mixing in things that you should not be mixing yourself into. I dealt with that too. I was a heavy drinker, especially in college. When I was stressing out about my parents, and I was stressing out, my dad was really sick, and he couldn't get back on his feet, trying to find a good job, and my mom was home trying to figure it all out by herself, and I was stressed out. And I would drink, and I would find myself dealing with things differently. And I just want to kind of give you guys 4 things that have helped me in my process in learning how to deal with stress. And some of these things, being a male, a black male, it's not something that you just kind of, you're taught how to do. One of these things is specifically in the 4 things I'm gonna talk about. You just don't do. You don't talk your business. So I'm gonna give you 4 ways that help me deal with stress, and I hope that these 4 ways would help you and kind of teach you how to kind of deal with the stuff that you currently have. 1, you have to take care of yourself. You have to eat healthy. You got to exercise. You have to get plenty of sleep. You got to give yourself a break when you feel stressed out. I know my problem was, and sometimes still is when I'm stressed out, I literally bog myself down with more work. The more time I can actually spend actually doing something, the less I can think about the stress. And in actuality, I actually get more stressed out. The times when I'm actually active, when I'm working out, it's more beneficial for you to work out for your stress levels than it really is when it comes to you actually trying to look fit and develop a nice body or whatever you're trying to do. I think more people will work out when they realize how beneficial exercising is with balancing your stress levels. When it comes to eating well, I think a lot of that has to do with the reasons why we're so agitated with some things, and and we're not even killed with a lot of stuff, and we're extremely stressed out because of the chemicals that we intake. Does something a lot of times, does stuff to our body, and it makes us kind of handle things differently. And it's a lot of times it's chemicals. You give somebody some bad toxins, all of a sudden they're doing, terrible things. And I think that that's something that we as a community, and if you're somebody looking at this video and you can relate to what I talked about, what I struggle with, talking about compartmentalizing things, working out kind of gets that stress out. If you're somebody, you deal with something and it's eating at you to where it makes you feel like you're going to be volatile, or makes you feel like you're going to explode. Maybe doing a workout like kickboxing or boxing, or something like intensive training that makes you kind of just scream and kind of grit your teeth and just make it happen. I think that's absolutely important for you to do because it helps me. And then two, if you don't get enough sleep, it hurts you in the long run. And I hear a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, that are on this, traveling to be entrepreneurs, self-employed, or even working a job where they're trying to get promoted, and they find themselves always working extremely hard. They find themselves always spending extra times reading and studying. If you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, your mind and your body cannot function at its full capacity. There's a reason why you sleep and then you wake up and your body's alert when you have enough sleep. And when you sleep, you can't get right back into like reading on your phone, or reading a book, or listening to more information, or reading an email immediately. You have to allow your body to wake up and kind of deal with some of the stuff that you're struggling with. I think it's important that people understand that the more you sleep, enough sleep, not lazy sleeping, but the more you sleep and you kind of take your time and you wake your body up gradually to where you're optimizing your full potential that your body has for the day. I think it's important that reset is absolutely everything, especially for me. The times when I didn't sleep a lot, I thought it was pretty cool, and it was a fad. You hear that entrepreneurs and CEOs, they don't sleep a lot, right? And they sleep 4 or 5 hours a day. And I tried it for a long time, and I realized I was actually less productive not sleeping as I am sleeping. Because when you realize why you are awake and why you are actually working, most people, even though they're at work 10, 12, 14 hours, most people don't find themselves working the full 10, 12, 14 hours. So instead of fooling yourself, I think that you need to make sure that you get enough sleep, and make sure that people respect your time sleeping. Turn off your phone, turn it on silent, whatever you have to do to make sure you get full optimal sleep. Number 2, you got to learn how to talk to others, express yourself to others, and let people see that you're vulnerable. I think that's absolutely important. I think my struggle was I held myself to this type of standard, and I didn't want anyone to see me here. But it didn't allow me to be human. It didn't allow me any room of error. And I found myself that I couldn't go and talk to people about my problems because I made it seem like I didn't have any problems, or I made it seem like, I had everything kind of figured out. And people learned to stop trying to kind of be there for me because I didn't need anybody. And I ended up stressing even more because that was an added pressure that I was dealing with. As it pertained to having myself to this higher standard and not having people to talk to. And to be honest with you, we lie to ourselves all the time, and we lie to people all the time as it pertains to us being okay, and us being exceptionally well, and our business doing well, and we're getting the promotions and things that we need. And we tell people about all the good stuff that's happening in our life, and we never tell them anybody about the bad, so that we can kind of get this balance. And then what I found was that a lot of people have different perspectives that can actually make you a better person, and it humanizes you to make people feel like you don't think that you're above them, but you actually have problems, and you struggle too. I think the problem that most successful people, the reason why they have a hard time connecting to people, is because people think that we think, or that they think, people that are successful, that they're better than them. And it's because we don't know how to express ourselves in a way to where other people can kind of help us out. My best friend right now is kind of down and out on his luck, but actually today he helped me get focused, and he's not where he wants to be, and he's not, you know, where I am right now in this phase of my life, but he actually gave me the advice I needed. And sometimes those people that are the closest to you can actually help you get through that phase that you need help getting through, and it takes a portion of you to be transparent. And the worst thing about being transparent is you can't lie and cover up transparency. The moment that you're transparent, it makes people see your flaws. But actually, if you're going to be a leader, I think it's important for you to be transparent, because with other people that are trying to imitate you, that look up to you, they start to see that you have flaws and you have things that you struggle with. And so them struggling with their things doesn't make them less likely to succeed like you or anything like that. Number 3, avoid drugs and alcohol. You want to keep a clear mind. Don't allow your stress to make you drink and get extremely buzzed or drunk or get extremely high. You know, I believe in recreational fun, but I don't think that alcohol and drugs should be your coping mechanism, because what happens, that addiction becomes your way out. And then when you get on those drugs, you get on the alcohol, you realize once you sober up, you still are dealing with those problems, and you find yourself wanting to always be high or be on drugs or always be drunk or always have some type of alcohol on your lips or on your tongue, and it keeps you from being sharp. It keeps you from dealing with the things as you may. And you have to learn how to kind of gain that confidence within yourself, that you don't have to be influenced in order for you to be absolutely successful in dealing with your problems as they are coming up. I know my problem was I used to always have to drink a little bit of alcohol to deal with a problem, whether it was with my ex-wife, whether with my current relationship, whether it's with my parents, my siblings, and I began to use alcohol as my kind of like Popeye's green spinach, and it wasn't good for me. It wasn't healthy, and I think that people should learn. You guys should learn how to cope with your feelings and deal with it in your sober mind, so you can make more conscious decisions. And number 4, learn to take a break. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs time off. Everybody needs to reset. Everybody needs to be able to say, okay, this is enough. I cannot deal with this. And if you're in that phase right now in your life, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to completely shut down. I'm giving you permission right now to take advantage and take your life and grab it by the horns and understand that you taking a break is actually more beneficial to you than you keep pressing forward. Take a break and understand that it's important that when you take that break, you reset your mind, you meditate, you figure stuff out, and anything that you haven't dealt with, deal with it on your break, because I promise you, your life depends on it. The more you stress, the bad stress, the stuff that is like causing you to have sleepless nights, is actually causing you to lower your time that you're here on this earth. I hope that my problems and how I deal with things actually helps you. And if you're that one person that needed this video, I pray that it got to you, and I hope that it helps you kind of get through your phase and where you are in your life. Guys, this is your hometown CEO, Jake, and I'll see you at the top, because the bottom for me is way too crowded. Peace, and I love you.
Before I'll be here as your foundation, and I say, hey,